Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's TPM5 with another NBA video. In this one, I'm going to be talking about the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors, and in particular trade rumors to the New York Knicks. So, without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, as you guys know, Donovan Mitchell is one of the better players in this league as a superstar. There's a bit of a debate between fans that think he's good enough to be the first option on a championship team, or people like me who think he's more of a second tier option. Regardless, he's a player that you want on your team and he's conducive to winning. He was drafted in 2017, obviously traded to the Utah Jazz from the Denver Nuggets in that famous Trey Lyles trade deal. Now, he was kind of responsible for keeping this team above water when he first got drafted. If you guys can remember, this was the offseason where the Utah Jazz traded, or not traded, but lost Gordon Hayward, and he was drafted, and they didn't miss a beat, only losing 3 more games without Gordon Hayward and with the rookie Donovan Mitchell in his place. Now, the rumors come from, or have stemmed from, or flared up recently from Windhorst reporting that the Utah Jazz want to trade Donovan Mitchell before training camp begins, and many people within the NBA believe this is the tactic from the Utah Jazz to get the New York Knicks to beef up their offer and also draw interest in their one-away star as they look to begin the rebuild, similar to what OKC did a few years ago to a lesser degree. Now, just before we continue, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment what your thoughts are for this video, and also like it because it helps me with the algorithm. And just taking a moment now too to thank my subscribers for getting me to 1,000 subs, and I really appreciate it, and I hope it's one of the many milestones to come that we can all achieve and hit together on this channel. And if you want to join the journey, just remember to hit the subscribe button. And without further to say about that, let's continue with the video. Now, ever since Rudy Gobert got traded, these rumors have been strong, and obviously the New York Knicks are the front runner. Mitchell has also indicated that he'd like to go to the Nets or the Heat if he were to be dealt, but neither of those two teams have really hit a substantial agreement or negotiations with the Utah Jazz. The New York Knicks have been hesitant to make a deal for the shooting guard who's coming off of a season averaging 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 5.3 assists, as Leon Rose has stood his ground, showing some resistance to the Utah Jazz's pretty high requests. A lot of the negotiations have kind of been centered around if the Knicks are going to include RJ Barrett or not. I think there's still a bit of momentum around the league that the Knicks can make this move and probably still have one of the better packages even without RJ Barrett, who's coming off of a breakout season where he averaged 20 points and really showed some strides on that offensive end, and also under Tibbs improved a little bit on the defensive side. Now, the New York Knicks are going to need to match Donovan Mitchell's $30 million contract. This has been explored in many ways through getting the Russell Westbrook situation in Los Angeles involved, potentially sending him to Utah to match the salary. However, the Knicks would need to trade one of Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, or Evan Fournier to make the money match. And I just have a couple trades I'd like to show you guys that the Knicks could make in order to get themselves into a good position. Obviously, they've had a lack of success over this millennium, only having a total of I believe 5 winning seasons out of about 22. So not trying to rub that in for the Knicks, but that does show this deal could be a moment to look back on for the New York Knicks if it can get over the line. This is the trade that I believe the New York Knicks would prefer, and it involves Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Miles McBride, alongside 5 first-round picks and a second-round pick in exchange for Donovan Mitchell. Now, they might involve pick swaps, but I think this is probably the most, bare-boned way of making the trade look. And thanks to the Knicks' shrewd business on draft night, trading away Ousmane Dieng for some future picks, they have many draft picks they're willing and able to trade. I think that Obi Toppin's another player that might be included in the deal, and it might be a combination of less or more draft picks or less players. Obviously, we don't know everything that's being discussed, but that is probably the deal that the Knicks would want. And then this is probably the deal that would get it done if they were to offer it tomorrow or whenever they offer it. The favorable offer for the Jazz involves Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, and Miles McBride heading to the Jazz with 4 first-round picks and a second-rounder. There's still some scope here for the Jazz to ask for more draft picks. We don't know everything about the negotiations, as I was saying before, but if I was the Knicks, I'd be hesitant here because you're giving away RJ Barrett, who can be a pretty important piece on any team that you're building in the future, and is one of their few draft picks that have really panned out over the last few years. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson stayed and broke that streak of, I believe it was players drafted and not extended or something, but it's a testament to where the Knicks have been, and I really have some sympathy for the Knicks and hope they can really become successful. And I guess the team centered around Jalen Brunson, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, and Donovan Mitchell is a great way to start and build a winning culture in New York, something that has been lacking for quite some time. Donovan Mitchell has been conducive to winning over his time in the league, even as a rookie, knocking out the you want to say big three OKC with Russ, Carmelo, and Paul George, and has helped the Jazz win over this period of time. And with Tibbs' defensive culture, and I guess you could say that Tibbs might find ways to hide or get the most out of Donovan Mitchell on that end of the floor. So I think that this is the New York Knicks' deal to lose. I think it'd be very interesting if they make it, and I know I haven't spoken too much about the Jazz, but it really does open the door for them to begin an OKC Thunder-like rebuild, stockpiling young players, draft picks, and continually, making smart moves to get more draft picks over the next few years. And I think their future looks good either way, but probably if you trade Donovan Mitchell for a good package like this. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys sticking around. Please comment and like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, peace out.